Hey guys, how's it going? Well, it's been quite a while, like probably weeks, if not more, since I've done an update of how the build's going in the van. And I have made some progress. There's still a long way to go, but let's take a look at the progress I have made. So as you can see, I got a wall here, and basically this is 1.5 by 1.5 pieces. I think they call them 2x2s, I'm not really sure. And a piece of 1/4-inch plywood. And it's at an angle. This is how I dealt with the door issue. You know, building over a door was tricky. And on the other side here, you can see it's curved upwards like this. And I'm losing quite a bit of space in terms of the way it's built, but I don't really see how I could avoid it. I mean, there's other ways of doing it, but this is what I'm doing. So I still gotta see. What I have to do is I have to avoid this little bit right here, and you can see right here it barely clears the top. So I'm gonna have to build another section above here that's going to come out and up, and that's going to be all insulated all across here. And then when that's done, I can build a door here where this big open area is. So of course this still has to be insulated. I'm going to put 2 inches of Polizio, which should be like R14 when it's done. And I'm still going to do stuff over there too, but that's for another video. So let's see what else I got. I built this wall. This is all insulated now. This is tongue and groove pine from floor to ceiling. There's a couple things I need to fix. This piece right here isn't quite right. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it doesn't really meet my standards in terms of, I guess, OCD or whatever, so I'm going to take that off. I got another piece, so I'm going to stick in that spot. And I've got the tongue and groove all the way up, and it's all the way behind these speaker cabs everywhere. So over here we have the beginnings of my counter. I'm liking how it's nice and long. It's 56 inches from this corner all the way to the other side where the edge of the bed is. And it's not attached right now. I just got it bungeed so that the wood has somewhere to go while I'm driving. But this is where my water container is going to go. And what my idea is, I'm going to have take my water container and get at Home Depot. They have all this plastic PCV stuff where you can, you know, put a water inlet. And basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a hole under my stove. I'm going to put my stove over top of this, and I'm going to cut a hole out. And when I take the stove off, which is going to be removable so I can clean everything, then I'm going to have an access point where I can have a funnel and just pour my water in. And that way I can put like 1 liter or 2 liters of water a day in, or as needed, instead of having to lug around a big huge 10-liter container and deal with all that. So I think that's a good compromise. However, there's been a lot of stuff that's changed, and that's why it's kind of taken me a long time. This water container thing was originally on the other side, and my propane tank was here. But then I thought, you know, I was really having a hard problem thinking about the height of this counter, because I need to put my heater. Well, the original plan was to put my heater here. The problem is the clearance, it won't make it. It's got to be 18 inches above to get the proper clearance, and then that wasn't going to make it with that thing. So then I had to lower the counter, which means now it's hitting my legs. Right now I'm sitting on a milk crate, so it's pretty short. But if I was in a regular office chair, like what I want to get, nice comfortable one, then my knees would be way above the counter, and that would just not work so well. So I decided to move the heater, and when I move the heater, of course, that means I got to move the propane tank. So and I was going to put the heater over here, and this would be a nice little area, and then put the propane tank over here. But now I got another idea. I'm thinking about, originally, these are my bass cabs, my bass guitar cabs. Let's see how you can show this to you here. Originally my idea was to take these bass guitar cabs and just put a little curtain above this, like a black curtain, just because it would be easy. But now my idea is I could build a door across here. It doesn't even have to be a full-size door. And then put the heater on here and then have it stick out, and then put the propane tank in there. And that way there's nothing where the heater could have a problem with, has all the maximum clearances. It needs 30 inches in front of it, and 4 inches on either side and below it, and 18 inches above it. So this area would work. No other real area besides over here, like I showed you already, would work. This area would work too. I'm thinking it might not be a good area though, because I plan to have my office chair right here, and then that means I'm going to have a short space between where the heater is and the chair is, and I'm a little bit concerned about having the chair too close to the heater. So that's one negative thing about putting it there. The other thing is, the way the heater is built, it has the propane nozzle on the left side, like the little attachment point. So that would mean my hose I'd have to buy another hose and get a long one that would go down and around, so the tank could be over there. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue. That means I'm going to have to move my water container back over there so I can have my propane tank here. But I'm thinking that might be the way to go. What do you guys think? Alright, well, here's the counter all cleared off. This is going to be close to what it's going to look like. I've still got a lot of, stuff to do to it. This is, you may be thinking, well, what are you using for wood? This is maple plywood. This is the Pure Bond. They even have it on there. I can't see or read it. It's just a big, huge number. Pure Bond maple. And the reason I bought this stuff is actually, I was in Home Depot and thinking, what the hell am I going to use for my counter? And I thought I'd look at their wood, and they actually had this on sale. It was $48, regularly like 70 something. So I thought, ooh, that looks good to me. I was gonna go with pine, but the advantage of maple is that it's a harder wood, so it's not going to get dented up as easily. So the challenge of working on the van when you're living in it is, I don't want to breathe in a bunch of nasty chemicals. So that's why I went for the Pure Bond plywood, because it's completely formaldehyde free. And what I'm going to do is I got some low odor polyurethane, and even though it's low odor, I've used it before and it still has an odor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat this counter, and I'm going to leave it in the storage area of Mac's wife's place. I'll put like 4 or 5 coats on it, and I'm just going to leave it there for like a week. So hopefully most of the odor is gone. And I was thinking about the side part here, where the doors will be. And what I'm going to do is I was thinking about that. I originally wanted to stain it, like with a nice dark stain. But then again, the stains, right on the front of the container it says poison. So that kind of has me a bit freaked out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the doors, I'll have it all planned out, build the whole thing, and then I'm going to take the doors off, and then I'm going to stain them and do the same thing, leave them at the ex-wife's storage area in the bottom of her condo, and leave those there for a week, maybe longer. And then for the rest of it, because if I take the doors off, you're still going to have all the framing. What I'm going to do is I'm going I'm gonna get some low VOC paint. I think you can get it at up here in Canada, a place called Benjamin Moore, and I'm gonna just paint the other part. And I think what I'm gonna do is the doors will be dark brown, and all the other stuff is gonna be black, like a satin black. That way I think there'll be a nice contrast, and everything else in here is gonna be like a pine look. And what I've learned in my old van is that it's better to have the bottom area here a bit darker, because inevitably it's going to get scuffed up and dirty. So black's definitely going to hide dirt, and so is the dark brown, and I think the dark brown will have a nice contrast. So that's the plan. Because as I'm building this thing, I mean, the reason I'm going to paint it is it's really, I don't want to have to take it all apart again to paint it and then leave it at the ex-wife's condo. I want to have that part is going to be all built. I'm going to paint it, and it's going to be in the van permanently while I'm in the van. So the low VOC paint will mean that it's got a low odor, and hopefully it won't bother me too much while I'm in the van with it. So that's the plan. Let's see if it actually happens the way I intend. So the plan for under the counter here is I'm going to move this again. Hopefully this is the last time. Put the propane tank here. And then I'm going to have an open space so that I can put my office chair, and my legs will go under there, and I can have a nice desktop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a square out of here, and then I'm going to be able to remove it and put it back, so that I can access the valve of the propane tank. It's really important to have easy access to that valve, because when you're living in it, that thing's going on and off all the time. Every time I use a heater, that's going to be turned off or on or whatever. So propane tank here, access to the valve up here, then big open area where my legs will go, just for the desk work area. Then this is going to be storage. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the water, this water shelf thing is going to go over here, and then I'm going to have the cooler on the other side. I think I want to keep it as far away from the heater as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a box, and that's 1 inch larger than the dimensions of the cooler. And then I'm going to line it with Polizio, which is R7, and then stick the cooler in there, and I'm going to have a lid on it. And then I'm going to have it on like drawer rails, or I might even just put a piece of carpet on the bottom of the box itself, and I can just slide it on the floor. And then have a door here that'll open up, and I'll slide the cooler out. Or maybe not even have a door. Maybe if I can get fancy enough, just have it slide out and make it look nice, but we'll see. And then for the water, I'm going to want to have some kind of inlet where I can have a hole. So I don't know. I'm going to have to work all that out, how I'm exactly going to do that. I'd rather have the inlet over here, and then maybe a tube or something to go into the water container, but we'll see how that goes. And with any luck, I can have some kind of storage drawer unit that'll come out and do it that way. And what I'm going to try to do this time is, what I've learned is, I don't want to have it where I have a doorway and it's just a big open space. I want to have it where I pull like a drawer out, because when you pull a drawer out, it's much easier to access the stuff than having to go on your hands and knees and dig around in the back for whatever you need. If you can have a drawer, even if it's a deep drawer, not as good, then you can get out to where you are, dig around for what you want, and then put it back. Alright, so here is under the counter area, all that junk out of the way. And now I'm going to move this back over there. First I need to make a measurement to see where's the best place to put the cooler. Anyways guys, I know that's a lot of information to kind of digest, but that's how it's going with the van in terms of the build, and that's a rough idea of my plans so far. And what I'm learning is, as you do things, you may have to make some changes to make sure everything kind of goes together the best way possible. So anyway, yeah, work in progress. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.